Real Frank.
Hello, welcome to Real Frank Movie Reviews. For this episode, we're going to review Reminiscence, starring Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Ferguson. This movie is about Nick Bannister, a private investigator of the mind, navigates the alluring world of the past when his life is changed by a new client, Mac. A simple case becomes an obsession after she disappears and he fights to know the truth about her. All right, sounds exciting. My special guest is the dynamic duo of Mike and Karen. Welcome to the show.
Hey, hey, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Yeah. They love you guys. They love you guys. Oprah, I fucked her out. All right, Reminiscence. So let's talk about the story. What did you guys think about this story?
It was good. It was, I think, pretty original.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me when it first started. It reminded me a little bit of Inception. Is that movie?
Yeah, the DiCaprio one, Inception.
Yeah.
But it was compelling. I didn't get bored. It was pretty interesting, and I didn't see the end coming.
Yeah, the ending was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked the setup of the movie. I wish, we talked about it. She said she wished there's a little more backstory to why
things were the way they were.
Why things were the way they were, and but I don't think that was a big thing because that wasn't really part of the story that much. It just kind of gave you like dribs and drabs about stuff. But the storyline I thought was really cool, very original, very creative.
I'm glad you guys brought that up. The whole water thing. Like, what's your theory on the whole water thing? How everything got flooded, or what that represented in the movie?
Global warming.
Global warming is what we thought. We thought global warming, but they kept referring to the war. So then I'm like, well, what? They talked a few times about how different cities were sinking, and then most of the coastal cities were underwater, is what I'm assuming. Because all the cities they talked about that were underwater were like London and Miami, New Orleans. Those are all coastal cities.
Right.
London not so much, but it still sits on a big river. But it wasn't like, oh, Topeka, Kansas is underwater. So I don't know if it was global warming and the ocean started invading the land, and the rich wanted to keep their land, so they just started a war.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of political ramification behind it, or it was just, hey, there's war and the city's underwater, and this is the way it is, and good luck figuring it out.
And then the water represented like some sort of living status. If you were poor in the water,
only the rich could afford land.
Yeah.
Be dry.
The barons were the ones that could afford to be dry.
Which was interesting, right? So that's why I thought maybe there was more of a meaning behind it, and maybe if you guys had a thought on it. But yeah, it's kind of like we're kind of both in the same thing.
Global warming is just an easy,
jump to that.
Yeah. So what did you think? I was intrigued by the cards. In the beginning of the movie, it starts with the Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
So you think the Queen of Hearts represented the girl, Mac?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. But then, you never saw it until one other time in the movie. Like, the cards never came back. They never meant anything. I didn't feel like.
Until the end, though, when all the cards were in the water at the end. What do you think that meant? Anything, or just?
Well, I don't know. I didn't pick up. I saw it, but I didn't, I guess, think too deep into that one. Maybe there's more there than I'm thinking about. I'm not really.
Yeah,
I think it was supposed to be a deep movie, but
I don't think so either. I watch movies and I'm like, oh man, that's pretty cool. Then you watch them and talk to someone else and they like, oh, this represented this represented that. Yeah. It's like the Suicide Squad.
Shadowed by this or that. Yeah.
The Suicide Squad, I watched it with my wife Michelle, right? And then she's like representing because I hated the starfish part in it. It drove me nuts. And then she's talking about the starfish, how the starfish was red and blue. And she goes, why is it red and blue? Could it be Republican and Democrat? That's what it represents. And I kind of...
That's too much. That's too much. That's too deep.
I'm like, how'd you pick that up? I'm just looking at a stupid starfish going, man, I hope they kill it. All right, so
I don't know. I didn't see that.
what about anything else in the story anything in the story you didn't like?
I thought that there was a little bit of it that was too dragged out. Like there was a fight scene that let's be done with this now. Like
the fights,
it got a little long.
The fight scene when he confronts the cop and a guy goes to the floor on the piano.
Yeah.
That was just kind of drawn out, like a little bit too long. It wasn't like a huge long scene. It wasn't like it was 20 minutes.
But it really felt like
it
it
sure
was
did.
a long
Sometimes,
time.
okay, I thought that could have been quicker. That was the other thing that really, I mean, some of the fight scenes I didn't think were. Some stuff was a little drawn out, but for the most part, that was a pretty, well-developed movie.
So I know what you're talking about, the fight scene where they go underwater with the piano and stuff. He's pinned to the piano.
Yeah.
It was drawn out, right? Because they had the whole chase part, and then he's got to go after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then he lays there in the water, and I'm like, how long does this guy hold his breath?
Right.
Like, what the heck? He was just down there for a while. Like, he's like scuba gear on. What's going on?
He's got some gills, man. I don't know.
I guess so.
Right.
I don't know. But, I mean, this is the first Hugh Jackman movie I've seen since Swordfish.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
I'm not a huge Hugh Jackman fan.
Okay. That's interesting.
And there's no reason. There's no reason or rhyme or reason to it. Maybe it's movies he does I don't really get into. If he's doing like, but I think he was in X-Men and stuff like that. But I don't get into comic book stuff. So, but I mean, he's a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's certain actors I avoid watching their films, and it's not that his is one of them. I just kind of thought about that. And I guess the first time I've seen Hugh Jackman on a film since Swordfish with Halle Berry and Travolta.
Wow, man.
But he did a good job.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I was going to say he did a good job. I mean, I thought all the acting was very well done. Everybody was good. And the girl, I don't know her from. I mean, is she new? Like, I don't know her from anything else.
the Mac girl,
May
or Mac.
It's
May or whatever it is. Yeah,
Is it May? Shit, May. I apologize.
May.
May, yeah. I think she's been in a bunch of stuff either, but I think she just has one of those faces that just looks like everybody else
You
type
like-
of face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The woman who played Watts, who was Nick's assistant,
Uh-huh.
I saw her. I couldn't place her. And I'm like, I've seen her and stuff before. She was in a movie called Gridlock, Tupac Shakur, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Whoa, that's a long time.
And she was one of the main characters there. So yeah, it's been a while. But and the guy who plays the crooked cop, I've seen him and stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like he always plays like a rough, around the edges kind of thug type of character. But
I always remember him from Training Day. Remember him Training Day when he had Ethan Hawke in the tub? He was the gang.
that's right. He was in Training
Yeah.
Day. Yeah.
That scene was
He
so
in,
intense.
That's right. Yeah, in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And he was in Runaway Jury too with John Cusack.
Right.
So and he was kind of rough around the edges in that too. One of these big bully type of guys. So he plays the part well.
He does. So all right. So you guys like
But
the acting?
was good.
Yeah, well, I agree. I thought the acting was really good. Cinematography. What did you guys think of how it was filmed and things like that?
Really well done, especially the opening scenes where they're flying over into Miami and the water against the buildings. Again, I thought it was really, really well done.
Yeah, that part was cool. I mean, it took a lot for them to make that look like that. It was actually really creative, and I thought this is really cool, especially when they showed like the Baron's house and they had the big dams built and the retaining walls built, and stuff like that. And all these big buildings, and of course they were just full of water. I thought it was really cool. I mean, his laboratory or his research facility, you want to call it, was
Where you see the
where you
memories.
see the memories. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
That was really neat. So I really liked that. I thought the CGI was really good.
Yeah, the CGI too, right? The water, some of the water scenes that were filmed.
Yeah.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
looked good. With my when I was watching this story too, I felt a little. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Sin City back in early 2000, and it had like the narrative type of a movie. This kind of reminded me of that the way because Hugh Jackman's character is narrating the whole thing, and then we talked about how it was Inception. I thought it also reminded me of Minority Report. I don't know if you remember that one with Tom Cruise with the clogs and they could predict the future. They had these 3 clogs that could predict the future crimes before they handed. They were pre-crime, they were called. this kind of had that type of flavor, but again, it had some original concepts to the story, so I was pretty entertained with it. And I also liked the message at the end, right? The message about
Yeah, it was cool.
You choose your path.
Yeah, you
Right.
choose your own path.
Choose
yeah,
your
that was
path.
Cool. And I liked it. I'm not gonna say I like the ending. I'm not gonna give away the ending. I'll bite my tongue on that, but the ending, the way it came out,
I liked it.
I thought
It's
it was good. It was good.
all right. So let's go ahead and
And
rate
the girl
this
that
thing.
played Huh?
What were you gonna say? Go ahead.
You said rate it.
Oh, I was gonna say the girl that plays the prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember her name. I've seen her before too, and she was in that Detroit 187 when that was a show on ABC.
Oh.
I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
Oh yeah, there was like.
She was in that. That's where I recognized her from. Yeah,
Okay.
I recognize all these actors in places, and I just comment. Like,
She was only in the movie for like 4 minutes.
I know.
How do you?
But I just picked up on it. It's certain things I just pick up on. It's crazy.
It had a huge impact on
Go ahead.
Karen.
It didn't have that big of an impact. I
He
just,
just
I
likes
just,
to-
I just noticed different actors. So go ahead.
All right, let's do story. What do you want to rate the story? So we'll
We've known him for 25 years. He doesn't stop.
What's that?
story. So Karen, what do you score the story?
I would score the story a 7.
A 7.
Like I liked it. I did not see the ending coming. But there was a little bit I was like, okay, we can, like the guy falls in love with the girl and she's a bad girl.
Of
And,
course.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a take. I mean, it was a fresh take on an old theme, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'd give it a 7.
All right. Mike, what do you give the story?
I would give the story a 7. I agree with that. It was I thought the ending was well written. I did kind of call part of the ending.
You did.
I did. But I thought overall the story was well written and very creative. That's why I kind of liked it. I mean, I'm not into stuff like that, the sci-fi type of stuff, and this wasn't really sci-fi-ish, but I just thought it was very creatively done
All right. And then
from a storyline.
Karen, what do you think of the acting? How would you score the acting?
I'd give it an 8.
8.
I mean, it was really everybody did a great job. I think it was.
Yeah.
It kept you. You believed it. It kept you intrigued. It kept you wanting to watch it. And I don't really like movies, and I wasn't like bored out of my mind to watch it. So.
Yeah, I'm the movie buff. She's not. So.
All
But
right.
it was good. I'd give it an 8.
All right. And Mike, what would you give the acting?
I'd probably go 7.
7?
I mean, an 8's pretty high. I mean, this isn't like Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan or, I mean, it's not like, gonna win an Academy Award, but
Might win a Golden Globe.
it might win a Golden. Yeah, I guess it could, but I don't know. I thought it was good. It's okay.
All right. And then cinematography, Karen. What do you think of the cinematography?
Cinematography is probably an 8. I mean, they did
Yeah.
a really nice job. Like, it actually looked real.
Mm-hmm.
Miami was flooded, and it looked like it was flooded. And I think they did a really nice job.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree. I'd do the 8 just because I thought what they did special effects was really good.
And then CGI.
And it's not like a special effects movie,
Yeah.
but they did a really great job. Like, it's not, it's not a Star Wars. It's not one of them where you're supposed to be
Right.
wowed by the special effects.
Right.
But they did a really nice job. Like, it really looked like cities were underwater.
Yeah, they did a nice job with the backdrop stuff.
So the CGI. What do you guys think of that? What would you give that, Karen? The CGI.
Yeah, I'd stay with an 8.
All right.
8's across the board.
The 8s. You like the 8s, just like my dad. He likes the 8s.
It's safe.
And Mike, you same way? 8, or are you going to?
It's not 10.
Oh, what are you giving it?
What about you?
On the CGI?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? Still, yeah, I'd go with an 8. Yeah.
All right. All right. So
'Cause I said an 8.
that's what it is. That's why you guys are a couple. People who sleep together, share the same numbers together.
Right.
All right, so I'll give my review. I like the story. The story I thought was original. It had some parts from other parts of movies that I thought they twisted upon and made it their own. So I was very entertained, which is kind of nice to be entertained from start to finish. But I agree, like you guys said, those fight scenes were a little longer than they needed to be, especially the last one with the guy from Training Day. I give the story a 6.3.
Yeah.
The acting was very good. You know, I was very believable people. Nothing horrendous there.
Mhm.
But like Mike said, it's not an Academy Award. Tom Hanks, you know, wasn't going to go up there for an Oscar, or Hugh Jackman isn't going to win an Oscar for this performance. But it was really good. He did a really good job. So
Yeah.
I gave that one a 6.5. The cinematography, a couple of my favorite scenes in the movie was when he's fighting St. Joe or that guy. He's confronting him, and they put him in the fish tank.
Oh, the fish tank?
Yeah.
The eel tank or whatever? Yeah.
That whole scene was pretty sweet. Then his partner comes in, or the lady he works with, and blows all his people away. And the way the bullet,
That's his head.
yes, that was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way his face was in the water, and he turns and he's watching. I thought that was awesome.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I gave cinematography a 5.9, and then like you guys talked about the CGI.
You are rough.
Hey, I got standards.
You are hard to please.
I got standards.
Wow.
I got standards.
So,
The CGI, I agreed with you guys. The water looked real. I mean, you didn't like, oh, that looks really bad. No, you thought, oh, that looks like water.
Yeah.
And when they're walking in the water and shooting the water, my only problems was they lived in those apartments or wherever buildings, and they didn't have any water in the buildings except like his apartment. That May's apartment didn't have water in the floor.
Yeah, she would. There was
Yeah.
never. She had to like. You had to buy water. I don't know. It's weird.
How's that
but
work?
He was on an upper floor. He went.
I don't know.
Water everywhere.
Water everywhere.
You
So
don't get water.
why don't you have water? You're not sleeping in water. That was my only argument. But the CGI, I give it a 6.2. So overall, Karen,
Yes.
what do you give this movie overall?
Overall, I would give it a 7.
7.
Entertaining. Worth the time. Like I didn't walk away going, that was a waste of my 2 hours of my life. It will keep you entertained. Again, probably not winning any awards, but entertaining enough to spend 2 hours with it.
Very good, very good.
7.
Michael, what is your overall rating for this? 10 being the
Overall?
best, 1 of the worst.
I don't know, 6.5, I guess. I mean, it was good. I'm half numbering it, yeah. I'm gonna throw a decimal there, but
Nice.
it was good. It was creative. I said, but it's Hugh Jackman. I mean, he's okay, I guess, as an actor. The CGI was good. I thought the cinematography was good.
He's
But
like
it's
the
not-
sexiest man alive.
But it's
don't
not.
you know?
Well,
At
okay.
People Magazine just
But
said
that's
so.
but it's not something I would go back and watch again. I've seen it once and I'm done. Like certain movies, I'm like, I gotta go see this and
Right.
pick up more stuff. I don't think I'd go watch this one again, just because it was
Wasn't
okay.
that
It was
entertaining?
okay, but it wasn't like that entertaining where I have to go sit and see it again.
Understandable. So 6.5 for Mike, 7 for Karen. I give this one a 6.1. I agree with both of you. It was entertaining, but I don't know if I'd watch it again. But it was entertaining.
Mhm.
I definitely wouldn't have paid to see it in the theater.
No.
So I'm glad it was on. I was glad it was on. You know,
HBO.
HBO.
That's a good point. I agree with you. Like, if I would have paid for it, I wouldn't have been mad about it because I was entertained. But I was happy I could watch it at home.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't. It's
exactly.
not worth $15 a person,
Or
Yeah.
whatever they're charging for.
or whatever a theater costs. But you know, it's a good Saturday night. I've got nothing to do. I'll be entertained for a couple
Yeah,
hours.
and honestly, we watched it in 2 parts because we watched an hour last night, Friday night.
Friday night, and then
Watched
we
an
watched
hour
the rest
Friday
this
night. We
morning.
watched the rest of this morning.
Oh, no. Did you
And then
guys?
because it's too long, I mean, 2 hours. I mean, it's just under 2 hours. It was like a perfect time.
But we have a child, you know.
But yeah.
Who? Is he there? Is Michael still there?
Now, watch an hour later.
Where's Michael? Bring him
No,
in.
He got bored.
He left?
He got bored and he left.
He was gonna. Oh, Michael, he blew his chance. Blew his chance. Have to wait for his own review.
It was.
He'll review a kid's movie
Yeah,
soon.
he
That's
wants to
right.
review a kid's movie. So.
All right. All right. Thanks for watching this movie and reviewing it with us. That's our review. Again, Mike gives it a 7. Karen gives it an 8. Or Mike gave it a 6.5. Karen gives it a 7. I give it a 6.1. And that's our review for Reminiscence. Thanks for watching.